All right, guys. Today we got AMC earnings. We are in AMC. Let's hope we can get some good stuff this morning. It's finally time for AMC. We also have C3 AI. We have Mara on a day in which Bitcoin is breaking highs. The SPY's still up at 505, so pretty much flat on the day. We're going to put the expectations up in a second. All right, let me see what the AMC is expecting a 70-cent loss per share on 1.03 billion in sales. All right, so 70-cent loss per share EPS on revenue of 1.03 billion. Will they beat or miss? The full call will be streamed live here at 5 o'clock. All right. Rev of 1.03 billion. Here's the full AMC numbers here. Let me catch back on chat. What's up, Johnny? Be good. Robert, Tom, Q, Kyle, James. Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what AMC does. Look, there's 506s on the SPY. Here's AMC. AMC's been on a little bit of a run the last few days, though. So AMC has been kind of running the last few days. It's not like AMC has been weak leading into this earnings report, and so there is a chance that we start to see some good action on AMC. We also have C3 AI earnings coming out too, so like that is a relevant earnings call today. We also have Mara again dropping earnings on a day in which Bitcoin has broken 62,000, got up to almost 65,000, getting really close to lifetime highs. And so Mara is going to be incredibly relevant for all this stuff. The SPY is slightly down on the day, very flat day leading into everything. And again, we do have a bunch of big earnings reports coming out later on this afternoon. Hello, bag holders. Yeah, I'm definitely in AMC right now. I mean, I hope it goes up. I've been holding it for I don't know how long. But I've been holding it for a while. Green in equities, though, despite all of this, we are green on the day. We day traded some this morning, and that's why we're green. Like, we made a little bit day trading the SPY. We made a little bit day trading. I think we bought AMD earlier and made some money day trading that as well. And so, let me get some music going here as well. But yeah, it should be fun, man. I mean, listen, AMC earnings are always interesting. And so let me share some music. I hope they beat. Let me do a poll. We got to do a poll as well. Will they beat or miss their Q4 earnings? We're going to do a Twitter poll as well. We had GDP data drop this morning. AMC not leaving. AMC earnings. AMC's trending, honestly. It really is. Trending more than I thought it would be, in all honesty, man. Let me post the stream up. Do me a favor, slap that like button. I appreciate it. All right, so we got our poll. AMC now is about $4.85 a share. This is a post-split price. We might be day trading the SPY too. It's so flat right now. I'm going to go ahead and bet that the SPY is going to hold. Let's go ahead and day trade a little bit more and have some fun with it while we're sitting here waiting for the earnings to drop. We got 100 shares of the SPY. Yeah, Mara should be fun. Again, Bitcoin basically broke, you know, the highs of the last year this morning. Got up to almost 65,000. All right, we're right at that volume weighted average price. Let's see if we get a bounce here and we can take some profit. We got 100 shares of the SPY. This is not a small position either. Like, if we look at how much this position would ultimately cost, and we're going to be doing a lot more, creating a lot more day trading content. This is $50,000 in equity. My TOS account's a big account, but it's a larger account. It's not like millions, but it's quarter mil or so in equity. It's not like I'm risking. Everybody always tries to bring up, they're like, oh, well, you know, you're spending $50K to make $4. And it's like, that might be true, but it's not like I'm risking $50K. All right. All right, we're going to keep adding down at the bottom of this. All right, now we're in almost 100,000. It's not like I'm investing in this though. We're buying the SPY, which is the S&P 500. So it's not like this is going to go to zero. Our risk is nowhere near this. All right, we got 200 shares. 200 shares. We're just going to trade on the profit we made today. See if we can make a little bit more. Jim Cramer says Bitcoin will crash. Oh no, yeah, we have Snowflake earnings. We have Salesforce, I believe, too. No. So look at us losing here. But don't we have Salesforce earnings as well? I mean, Jim Cramer, that might be the most bullish thing you ever seen. If Jim Cramer says, all right, we're going to have to cut this and get out. Big rejection at the 200 EMA VWAP level. Maybe we're going to start bearishly trending. My fault, I guess, for attacking. If we get a bounce back up, I guess we'll try to short this. Maybe we're going to start flushing down. We're going to switch directions. There we go. Maybe short some more if we bounce back up. So now we're short. This is how you know it's not a paper account as well. I'm pretty sure TOS doesn't let you short on paper, but they might. I don't know. IOVA earnings. Yeah, Snowflake, I think, so we have a bunch of big earnings today. We've got Snowflake, we've got C3 AI, we have Salesforce, we have Mara, and we have AMC. Those are a bunch of pretty big reports dropping today. Yeah, so Snowflake is expecting, again, we're going to stream all of it, right? Snowflake is expecting 18-cent profit on $759 million in revenue. CRM is probably one of the most successful companies dropping today. They are expecting 226 EPS on $9.23 billion in revenue. So again, Salesforce, one of the larger companies. We also have some newer companies, specifically against C3 AI. We've got C3 AI dropping, AMC dropping, IONQ dropping, Hewlett Packard dropping, and a bunch of other ones as well. Again, this is the power hour, so we only have like 50 minutes left. We'll put a timer up as well. I forgot the timer. If we look at AMC, let's take a look. All right, so despite everything else, we got about 50 minutes. All right, so there we go. All right, we're taking a day trade short. We got this little 1 minute pullback SP candle, but we will add up to maybe 200, 250 shares of the SPY if we get another bounce up to maybe this level, and then we're just going to bet on this plus the 200 EMA VWAP level holding as resistance if we can. That's what we're essentially looking for. Let's take a look at some metrics though. You know, EPS graph I'm sure isn't much to talk about with regards to AMC. But I think when we look at the revenue graph is certainly looking more optimistic since 2020. You know, certainly looking better since 2020. And so this is a nice little run up since 2020. And the last one, they came in at 1.406 billion, 1.406 billion. So not too bad really if we look at this. Yeah, I'll look at IOV. Give me a second, Tops. If we look at the expected earnings for AMC, they're expecting 1.03 billion. So they're actually expecting this to decrease this quarter at least all the way down to this level here. So right, so they're not expecting like a big bar here. It's basically supposed to look something like this, right around 1.0 billion. So not quite around the highs, but again, that might give it some room. You know, we'll see if that can move anything. Again, minus 70 cent EPS, and so that'll be fun to watch. And again, we'll see if we can catch anything there. And again, we're in AMC. We've been in AMC for years. What are your longs at the moment? I am in Apple, AMC, AMD, ARM, Boeing, Baba, Citigroup, Chewy, Delta, Disney, Etsy, Ford, Gold, GameStop, Home Depot, Honeywell, Coca-Cola, MGM, Microsoft, Nike, Oracle, Pfizer, Palantir, PayPal, Snapchat, SoFi, SoundHound, The Spy, Tesla, Tyson, Unity, Walgreens, Walmart, ExxonMobil, and a couple other things as well. So we're in a couple other things too. All right, so we're going to try to day trade this. I don't mind adding some decent size here. Day trading with about 250 to 300 shares of the SPY. Looking for a rejection here is what we're looking for. There's 275. There's 300. So we got 300 shares of the SPY here. Ideally, we want like a burst down. Not a small position, but we can't day trade. I mean, we've got the equity to do it, to be honest. Thoughts on Baidu? Baidu dropped earnings recently, I believe. No? Alright, so we'll take half off there. Just lock that profit in, protect it. Still got 200 shares, though, so we got some room. Baidu dropped earnings this morning. Was it super early this morning that they dropped? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, we didn't really have any major companies to stream this week, really. Nothing big, worthwhile in my opinion. Alright, we're back in 250 shares. And here's AMC. We are in AMC right now. We've been in AMC for a while. So we are in AMC. Am I using margin? A little bit now, yes. Not a ton. Like, again, we've got like 70K or so. Yeah, I hope it moons, man. Again, I'm in it. I hope it does. Yeah, I'm short in the SPY currently. Small shares, though. Or maybe not small shares. Depends on what you consider small. I guess it's all relative. We got 300 shares short of the SPY. So it's about a $150,000 position. It's a very small trade, though. The reason I'm doing this is because there's no commissions. And we're scalping it, so we're going to cut it. Cut it. We got 100 shares left. See if we give it more time to break down. All right, looking at our poll numbers, 50% think they're going to beat. 50% think they're going to miss. Yeah, I just don't think AMC's as hot as it once was. You know, it's definitely less watched for sure. Let me look at the poll numbers. We did a poll on Twitter. Twitter's actually pretty busy as a poll. 72.5% of people think they're going to beat 72.5. And I'm an optimist for AMC. I hope it goes up. I really do. I want it to go up. I'm in AMC. I'm rooting for it to go up. And we'll see if it does. We also have C3 AI earnings at the close. Who knows when they'll actually drop, but we do have those numbers coming out too. Getting a really flat range even though it's at power hour right now. Ideally, I'm looking for this number to reject right around here. I want that level to reject it. I don't mind adding to it short. Anticipating on that rejection. Back down to this level specifically here. But who knows if it will. We're just kind of playing around with relatively small size. Hey, thank you, Tone. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you, sir. Oh, the humanity. I like this pattern. We got this big downward move, and what we're trying to do essentially is piggyback off of this big move right here. If we could do that, great. We'll take some profit deep into it. If it doesn't, we'll get out pretty much close to flat on the day. But we have this big red move right here. We have the volume weighted average price 200 EMA right around the same spot. And so what we're essentially doing is shorting it as it bounces close to that level. And yeah, we're basically flat on the day here. We got 300 shares. We could probably add a little bit more. There's 0 commissions on toss. Do you think today's earnings will affect the NASDAQ? I mean, yeah, to a certain extent. I don't think there's anything super heavily weighted in terms of earnings today. Like, I don't think there's any like really big earnings. Yeah, we do have IOVA. IOVA is a penny stock though, so if we look at IOVA here, or it's not really a penny stock. It's a biotech. It's really flat today also. So, all right, so we're pretty close. Like, we'll see what we get here. We're gonna get ready to cut this though. I don't want to play with it too much. We're down 25 bucks on the day. And we're up over 1,000 on the year already. I'm gonna let it trigger and then see what happens. Hopefully we don't get like a squeeze up. But ideally I'd look for like a rejection. We can bet one more 50 share lot on it. And then if we lose, we lose. So if it fails in video, come down with it. If what does? CRM and Zscaler. Oh, I guess this position, apparently this position is $221,000. What a crazy size position. I didn't realize it was that big. I probably got to limit some of this. We're down 30 bucks though. So like, it's not like I'm taking monstrous risk. I want to see if this level rejects. We have some resistance here. And so, yeah. AMD earnings. Yeah, AMD earnings aren't today. AMD earnings, I believe, were the 31st of January. So AMD had earnings when a bunch of those other big companies dropped. So like, we had AMD, Google, Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, all released like within a 3-day period. And so that's kind of what happened, is that we had all those big earnings drop essentially in the same period. And so AMD got kind of diluted. We had bigger earnings that we wanted to cover in that in that period of time, so we weren't able to cover AMD earnings when they dropped. Today we do have C3 AI earnings coming out though, so we do have C3 AIs. Yes, Snowflake and there's a couple big ones today, like a couple relatively large earnings reports today. Again, we have C3 AI, we have Snowflake, we have Salesforce, which I believe is what's Salesforce? The symbol. Salesforce is CRM. CRM is a pretty big one. That one drops right at the close. But then AMC, again, we can look at AMC. And again, we're in AMC. We've been holding AMC for a long time. We hope it goes up. We'll see if it does or not. We'll see if the ape community is still strong here with this one. Alright, well, now that we're up, we're going to start locking profit in because we can. We were correct about our directional bias thing, where we did reject exactly. Remember, we drew this level out, and look at how accurate. A lot of people get scared out of the trade, but we drew this level a long time ago. We talked about this resistance here, and we drew this level. You got to understand it's kind of like a cup and handle, or not a cup and handle, I'm sorry, a head and shoulders like pattern. So here's the head. You kind of have like a shoulders look here. Here's a shoulder. Here's another shoulder. That's usually can be a bearish sign where we at least come back down to the range. Is what we were targeting here. I want to hold this a little bit longer to see if it continues to break down. But AMC testing that 200 EMA level. Yeah, Mara should be going crazy, honestly, because Bitcoin has been so strong. And so since we took profit there, we can kind of play with house money. We're up like 20 bucks or so, so we could let this work. We only have 75 shares. So no matter what, we should still be at least slightly green from this last trade. Maybe not, though. We'll see. Hi, beginner. You're amazing, and I love your content. Amazing crypto costs could change the world forever and have limitless potential to build wealth. You're amazing, by the way. You seem like a bot that's just pandering to my ego. Like, oh, John, you're so great. Oh, man, what a rip. I'm going to have to cut this. So we made $5. It's all right. We were down heading into that trade, too. But you sound like a bot trying to pander to my ego here. Oh, John, you're so great, you know. Love your content. Check out this, you know. Prove me you're not a bot, sir. No way Snow falls behind expectations. I think it'll be a good run up. Hey, we'll see. Snapchat green on the day as well. Where's Tesla at today? Tesla was flying at the opening bell. If you have more than 25K in your brokerage account and you make more than 3 day trades, you are tagged day trader, but you can still make more day trades. Is that correct? Yes, that's correct. So, I mean, if you have 25 grand or more in equity in a margin account, you can day trade as much as you want. That's why you see me just kind of playing with the SPY here. I've got, like, my account's got like 70,000 or so in it. And so I could buy the SPY as much as I want for free. You know, it doesn't cost me anything to buy the SPY like I just did. It's completely free. 0 commissions as well. I think there might be some fees, but they're negligible. So yeah, but you will be tagged as a day trader, you know, but it doesn't mean anything. Like, look, yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean too much. All right, guys, again, help support the channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We do have AMC earnings. We do have C3 AI earnings, and I'm really torn. I'm in AMC. I want AMC to go up. But we also have C3 AI earnings today, right? So we do have C3 AI earnings. I'm torn on what to do. I'm torn on what to do. I don't know what to do here. I really don't. I think C3 AI technically is not supposed to come out until much, much later, though. So I think we have time, but All right, I'm curious. I gotta look. All right. All right, AMC still testing that 200 EMA VWAP level. Again, we got the last few days of February really here. Stocks and crypto dip 2 hours ago. What happened? Does anybody know? I mean, listen, when you zoom out of the market right now, brother, when you zoom out of the market, it's flat. It's a very sideways day. I mean, look, you got to understand the market might dip and then bounce back and then dip and bounce back. It's not like, okay, if the market moves up this much and then moves down this much, does that mean it's weak? Not necessarily. It's just retracing back. It's flat. You know, it's still up relative to this spot, and you know you can do that with everything. This is still up relative to this spot. What I see right now is a very sideways neutral trend. I think we had a little bit of a trend here. We started showing more strength, and then we pulled back, and really for the last little bit we've been in like a trend like this, like a sideways trend. And so we had like big weakness down here, slight bounce back, neutral. So we're essentially completely neutral in my opinion. I don't see anything that looks incredibly like powerful right now, to be honest, to me at least. Maybe there is some stuff, I don't know. I don't see anything that looks great. Yeah, I got my wife got me some new headphones. Again, will the market succeed? I don't know here. Looking at our votes, will AMC beat? 53% think beat, 48% think miss. Again, I'm into AMC. I hope it beats. Like, I really do. I hope it beats. Do you guys want me to turn my toss notifications off, or is it like, do you guys want the notifications? I'm gonna short again. Even though we're slightly over the 200 EMA, I think that range-wise, we have room to come back down, especially if we're flat towards the end of the day. Do y'all want my notifications on or off? I could turn them off. If the notifications are bugging you, let me know. I could turn them off easily. Six to 12%. What kind of percentage movement would be possible? I mean, it can move more or less. Hey, thank you, Paul. Thanks, brother. All right, we're gonna get in one last hurrah here, and then see if we rejected this level, and if not, we're just gonna not worry about it. Range-wise, we should have room to come back down, but I'm basically trading a choppy trend because I'm bored. Snapchat up to 11s today, so that looks good. I'm used to it since I use TD. Thanks, Triple. Yeah, this is my sign to cut it. We'll see if this rejection level holds, but it just kind of blew right past it. We're going to cut this and wait to trade another moment. It's strong. I mean, we got this little mini trend up. Nah, it's all right. Why are you trading in my demo account? Are you accusing me of trading a demo account? I mean, it's very easy to prove it's not a demo account. You know what I mean? You know? Like, it's very easy. Remember, look, I said I had 70K in here. Okay? Do I need to prove it's not? I mean, it's very simple. Yeah, TD is going to Schwab. Earnings call is at 5 p.m. The actual earnings drop after the closing bell at 4. We streamed a little bit early. We still got 30 minutes. Again, it's kind of boring right now. AMC just doesn't have the following it once did. You know, when we cover all the major earnings reports as well. Well, Thinkorswim. Yeah, Thinkorswim's going to stay around. TD Ameritrade's going to Schwab. I did get that notification. The market's really flat and boring, though. What's going on with Rootstock? Bitcoin eventually become the global one world currency. It's biblical prophecy. Maybe. I'm looking at AMC options data, and it's very heavy on calls, so even if it does beat, market makers will try to drive it down to kill calls. Low market cap makes it easier to do that, not touching it. Maybe. I'm in Germany. It's 9:30 over here. Really? Is it that late? I'm in Texas right now. It is 2:30 in the afternoon. Bitcoin pulling back to 60K. We'll see if it bounces. Yeah, I mean, I know, like, we had our biggest earnings stream ever. We had GDP data this morning, but we had our biggest earnings stream ever, you know, a couple days ago last week. Like, look at this stream, bro. This stream was freaking chaos, dude. Like, look at this stream. Let me find it. Look at these two streams, bro. A week ago today, we had this stream. Look at this. Like, these are chaotic streams right here. So with NVIDIA, we had over 14,000. Or no, we had over 13,000. We had 13,000 people there. Let me just clarify. We had 32,000 from the Fed Minutes report. We ended up getting 84,000 views for NVIDIA earnings. Again, it kind of NVIDIA could be the new AMC, because AMC used to pull numbers like that, bro. Like, I remember AMC traders used to just kill it with views. Some of them still do, I guess. But AMC used to pull in big numbers. At this point in time, AMC has lost its steam. It's lost a lot of interest. We got some still. We did a poll today, though, on AMC, and we still got some interest. We got 60+ votes on Twitter, which is pretty solid for, you know. Yeah, those are really what grew my channel, ultimately, was the AMC days. Snow going up today. Let's take a look. I'm going to put up a couple different charts. So again, we got AMC, we got Snowflake dropping earnings after the bell. Snowflake at 230s. We've got the SPY still. We're watching that at sideways. But here's Snowflake. Snowflake sideways as well. I think we got a bunch of tech earnings coming out. And so I think the market is apprehensive, waiting for those tech earnings to drop. Snowflake, C3 AI, a bunch of other big ones drop earnings. And so I think that's kind of what the market is all about right now, is it's fearing earnings volatility. AMC brings people together. Hey, maybe. Yeah, I think the problem and the risks. Like, I like AMC right now. You know, I do like AMC. The risks are simple though. Okay, so again, let's go ahead and talk about it. We'll talk about the economy. We'll talk about the risks. We'll talk about all this stuff. Here's AMC's last, you know, year or two or quarter-wise EPS. Or no, these are revenue-wise. Let me see EPS and what the EPS trends for AMC are. So the EPS trends for AMC, which is profitability. Remember, wait, this is AMC Entertainment. Wait. Why is this weird? That's off. Okay. Here we go. All right, so here's AMC's EPS, you know, which is margins. It's how profitable the company is. You know, they've stagnated a lot here. You know, they had one quarter where they had 10.20 a share, 3.30 a loss per share, 120 loss per share, 220 loss per share, 260 loss per share, 170 loss per share, 10-cent profit per share, 8-cent profit per share is what they did. Now they're expecting a 70-cent loss per share, so they are expecting a very big decrease here, a very big decrease. 84-cent loss per share, 208-cent loss per share. Oh, this is in the middle of the squeeze. Oh, this is a pre-split price. But yeah, that's AMC right now, and this is EPS. Again, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. If they come in better than expected, they might run. They could do some things. We'll see. They could also fall. We do have Snowflake. We have CRM earnings as well. So here's Snow. Here's CRM. CRM is at 299s, almost 300s. So a lot of stuff's choppy. Basically, tech is choppy right now. Yeah, we're going to stream the full call. It might say it right below me here, but yeah, we're going to stream it. Yeah, it's definitely a big variance for sure. But anyways, back in 2020, we had the crazy squeeze that happened. But one of the other things that happened from the pandemic was people stopped going out, man. We had the pandemic, businesses closed, movie theaters struggled, and one of the fundamental changes that we got from that was they started debuting new movies direct to streaming instead of, and they had tried it and experimented with it prior to that, but they started going direct to streaming opposed to going debuting movies in theaters. One of the trends you've seen in entertainment, right? And AMC is an entertainment company, is that over the past, I would say 5 years, you've seen a fundamental shift in movie studios in risk. Okay, so beforehand, movies used to come out to theaters, and movie studios are taking a risk putting the movies in theaters because if it bombs, they lose a bunch of money, right? You could also see it in like television series as well, like TV series like Game of Thrones as an example. Every year you would get a new season. Every year, no matter what, you're getting a new season. Now, especially with like starting series, right? So now you'll have a season and you have to wait for the first season to be greenlit for the next season before the movie studios will move forward and produce the season. And so it's causing big delays. There's writer strikes. All these different things are happening with regards to movie studios. Now, if you want to watch a series, a lot of the time you're going to have to wait years for a new season of your favorite show to come out. Like we can look at 1923 just came out, loved it. Got to wait years before the next one comes out. The Last of Us, you got to wait years for the next one to come out. Stranger Things, you got to wait years for and again, some of this had to do with the pandemic and all that stuff. But movie studios are not taking the risks they used to, and that trickles into movie theaters as well, where movie companies and movie studios are not willing to take the risk and put movies in theaters anymore and spend that money because it does cost money. It does need a press run when they go to theaters and a bunch of other stuff. And I think a lot of them are now choosing to go either Netflix and streaming, like direct to streaming. You can see the new Roadhouse movie with Conor McGregor and Jake Gyllenhaal is going straight to Amazon Prime. That is something that has hurt AMC over the last few years. That is something that has certainly hurt AMC. Movie studios are just not putting as many movies in theaters anymore. A lot of them are going straight to streaming. And if I can rent a movie for $20 at home versus go to see it in a theater, a lot of the time I will. That is the risks for AMC. But, people still go to a movie. People still go to movies. It's still an event in people's lives in which they're going to movies, they're enjoying the movie and all this different stuff, right? So there's still hope for AMC, but that is something that has hurt AMC's bottom line without question over the last 3 years. And the question is, do these trends change anytime soon in regards to whether people are going to movies or not? I don't know. I don't know if they do or not. Let me know what you guys think in chat, but that's the risks. Yeah, we'll cover Mara, we'll cover C3, we'll cover all the big earnings reports. We'll cover CRM, Salesforce, Snowflake, Mara, all the big ones that drop. Straight to home should be illegal. I mean, I don't know, man. We're covering AMC because this is the one we normally cover, and we're in AMC right now. The only other one we might cover, none of the other ones are big enough. Salesforce is not big enough, unfortunately. Snowflake is not big enough as a company to cover anymore. Maybe with this big tech boom, it might be, and that might be something we consider for next earnings season. But AMC is generally the one that we cover. But again, it is every earnings call, it's an experiment. C3 AI is dropping their earnings today, and what are they doing? So AI symbol, they're pretty flat also. The closing bells when a lot of this craziness is going to happen. Straight to home should be illegal. I mean, I don't know. I think technology affects all of us, and like you're always going to have tech changes and things, It doesn't mean that you should. Again, I'm sure carriage companies wanted to hold on and, when the automobile came out. But if they did, and, I don't know. With that said, though, I still like going to the movies. I still like bringing my kids to the movies. I still like going to see movies with my wife. And so, you know, maybe AMC still got a chance. Yeah, we do have C3 earnings today. Until AMC can provide 4D experience, what's the difference from watching at home? I mean, like I said, I choose to watch it at home mostly. AMC has diluted 24 million shares to 160 million since 2019. Did you put 70K for AMC? No. No, I did not. Just honesty, no, I did not. I'm not buying $70,000 worth of AMC. I think that is incredibly risky. I'm in AMC, but it ain't $70,000 worth, that's for sure. Right, dinner at a movie is as American as apple pie. I agree. Bitcoin today, yeah, Bitcoin flying up. Bitcoin almost got up to lifetime highs. Lifetime highs are just under 60 or just under 70K. So, I guess the question I could do here. We did a poll. Let's end this poll. The question is, should I cover C3 AI earnings or AMC? I mean, we're going to cover both of them. I'm talking about earnings call wise. If we get a big enough audience for AMC, I'd love to do it, but it just depends. You know, sometimes people are just not interested in the earnings that we cover. I mean, I'm not going to say. I'm in AMC. AMC is more exciting. Reverse Kramer. Yeah, Kramer bet against Bitcoin this morning. So Kramer bet against Bitcoin. That's the interesting one, is what happens with Kramer. Kramer bet against Bitcoin. He basically said he thinks Bitcoin is going to crash. Bitcoin almost up to lifetime highs. You know, it's about 20% away from lifetime highs. A little bit less than that, actually. So if C3 AI and Snowbeat would Palantir go up as well, potentially. We got 17 minutes still. You know, typically we start to get more and more people towards the closing bell when everything starts to heat back up, but when does Mara report? All of them drop after the closing bell. So Mara drops at 4:25. It's scheduled to drop at 4:25. Snowflake at 4:05. Salesforce at 4. Salesforce is technically scheduled to drop right at the close. C3 AI is scheduled for 4:55. AMC scheduled for 4:15 is the schedule here. So, you know, we got a little bit of time, but it's definitely low in terms of interest right now for AMC. And this is quarter 4 earnings for AMC, quarter 4. Is AMC up after the last quarterly numbers? AMC is down. So AMC here, let's put a yearly chart up. AMC's had one of its roughest years yet. Now remember, this is post-split, right? So this is $72 is where it hit highs in 2021. It was right around $72. Again, this is a 10-to-1 split down though. So this is a post-split price or pre-split price of about 49 cents is where AMC would be. If a split never happened, it would be about 49 cents. Do you think AMC earnings will be good? I hope so. I'm in AMC. Yeah, I'm for it. Moving to the moon. We'll see what happens, but I'm not sure. I hope so. Again, I hope so. We'll see. Looks like most people still want AMC, so we'll stick with that. But we are going to cover C3 towards the close. Yeah, the dilution didn't do good. Again, with Adam Aaron, you know, I like AMC, but I do think Adam Aaron might not be good for it. I think the problem with Adam is that, you know, he contradicts himself way too much. He comes out and says, hey, you know, the special purpose dividend is going to be great for the company. We gotta do this special purpose dividend. It's going to be great. You know, then they do the special purpose ape divvy, and 6 months later, he says, hey, getting rid of the ape divvy is going to be the greatest thing ever. It's going to save AMC. And then they do that, and it doesn't work either. So it just, I don't know. I don't trust Aaron's decision-making ability, to be honest. So tomorrow morning, BZ, there is personal consumption expenditure index data coming out. So PCE inflation data is dropping 8:30 tomorrow morning. We're going to stream it all live like we always do. But yeah, PCE data comes out. It's a big report. It's relatively big. CRM. Yeah, we're going to cover all of it. We're going to cover CRM. We're going to cover Snowflake. We're going to cover Mara, which is big because Bitcoin, if we look at Bitcoin right now, look at Bitcoin up here in the top left. So Bitcoin is going absolutely nuts as well. Bitcoin at 600 or 60, almost 61K right now. And Mara is a mining stock. So MARA is a mining stock. It could go crazy. We'll see though, you know. All right, team. Look at AMC rip up. Look at the SPY rip up. Bitcoin's still trying. Again, we got Snowflake, Salesforce. We're going to cover all of them as soon as they release. AMC moving. Yeah, AMC broke over the volume weighted average price. It's moving. All right, so again, 496, 497s for AMC. The SPY at 505.80s. So the SPY is very flat. Most companies right now are waiting for tech earnings to drop. So we got big tech coming out. We still got 10 minutes before AMC earnings come out. Someone speaks Spanish, because for me, I see the AMC possibilities. I think that's what you said. Someone speaks Spanish, because for me, because to me, in and outs. Yeah, I mean, no hablo mucho. Yo sé poquito español. Aprendo en mi escuela. Porque yo no sé mucho. Magnificent 7, not so magnificent, at least today. Yeah, I mean, it's not really a super red day either, though. It's a pretty flat day overall. The market's very choppy, very neutral. AMC rip it up to almost $5 a share. Yeah. Mi padre habla mucho español y... Would it be ser? Ser mucho y... Hablan a mí. That's all I know, man. My dad speaks Spanish very well. Travels and does, like, you know, my dad loves Spanish culture. Like, he loves Spanish culture, you know. I do too, personally, but my dad speaks very, very good Spanish. So I picked up a little bit of stuff from him over the years, because every time I see him, he's trying to speak to me in Spanish, and I haven't learned as much as I should, you know. AMC moving. Yeah, let's see if we can break $5. We're up to 4.99s here. 4.99s. Let's see if it keeps it up. Yeah, we'll cover Mara, Salesforce, Snowflake, AMC. We'll cover all the big earnings today for sure, without question. Yeah, we're going to cover Mara, don't worry. We're going to cover all of it. And again, we get thousands of people that subscribe to this channel because we cover it quickly. So subscribe if you haven't yet. I'm really trying to help us hit that. That 128,000 subscriber level. We need 65 subscribers, which we'll almost certainly get today. But yeah, we need 65 subs, which we'll almost certainly get. Again, Palantir break it down. AMC just tapped $5 a share. To $5 a share here. The SPY break it down. Let's put Mara up. Mara's at 31. C3 AI. So we're at $5 a share. C3 AI drops today. Snowflake drops today. Salesforce drops today. So big earnings today, tech earnings specifically. Closing bell is in about 6 minutes. Yeah, AMC is starting here. It's starting to go. It hit $5, which is probably a pretty natural resistance level. Like, this level is probably a pretty natural spot for us. So let's see if we can get over $5. If we do break 5, let's see if it holds support. Here, let me end this poll real quick. So we're at 497s. CRM starting to break. Bitcoin on the right side. We can look at Mara as well. We got Salesforce on the left. Mara on the right. And then AMC at 490s. Looking at our poll, will AMC beat or miss? Get your last minute votes in. Again, AMC technically scheduled to drop. The big one that's supposed to drop right at the closing bell is Salesforce. So CRM, this one on the left side, should release as soon as 4 o'clock hits in about 5 minutes. That's probably going to be the first one that comes out. You know, they have these schedules. They don't always follow these schedules, though. So sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Mara is actually scheduled to drop at 4:25. C3 AI is not scheduled until 5:55. And again, they're doing this thing where they're packing all these big earnings on the same day. They did it all earnings season. It's very different than what they normally do. But again, today we have Mara, Snowflake, Salesforce, C3, AMC, Duolingo, Paramount, IONQ, HP, Monster Beverage, Jazz Pharmaceuticals, Goldman Sachs, BDC, Inc., a bunch of other companies as well today. But they're doing this thing where they pack them full on one day. Usually these are spread out, but it's okay, I guess, since today we don't have a lot of, like, none of these are crazy big market caps. They're all pretty small. But Mara's big, especially with Bitcoin breaking highs. Yeah, C3 will be fun. Salesforce market cap is 295 billion, 200 top 35 company in the world. Yeah, Salesforce is the biggest one today by far, but the other one is relative. I think the biggest ones are probably going to be CRM and Snowflake. Those are two pretty big companies. What's the market cap of Snowflake? Let me see. So Snow market cap is 76 billion, right? So those two are relatively big tech stocks. CRM up to 300.4, starting to run a little bit. Again, it is scheduled to release right at 3 p.m., right at 4 p.m. Eastern. So we got 2.5 minutes here until that drops. AMC is technically scheduled to drop at 4:15, so 15 minutes after the closing bell is when AMC is technically scheduled to drop. But Salesforce is the one that drops right at the closing bell on the left. Yeah, how many times will they say AI? How can AMC pivot to AI as well with all the craziness going on? And again, we do have C3 AI earnings after the close. Again, mosey on over to that sub button. We only need 50 subs left. Team only 50. CRM pumping. Yeah, CRM over 300, which is probably a pretty big psychological level. But let's get ready here, team. We got a minute and a half left before the craziness from earnings starts. We got a pretty packed earnings thing today. Mayor is technically scheduled, I believe it's 4:35 or 4:25. Let me see. So yeah, Mayor is scheduled for 4:25 technically. Now, again, take this with a grain of salt because companies don't always follow this schedule. Nvidia is notorious for being super late with their earnings report, so they don't always follow this schedule, especially the ones that are pushed back. A lot of the time they're just releasing sometime after the closing bell. And with that said, we got 1 minute. Salesforce is right at $2.99. AMC is just under $5. We got Mara right here at $31 a share. If there's any other stocks you want me to look at in regards to earnings, let me know. Negotiators are reportedly very close to announcing a deal in principle on the first tranche of funding bills, which should theoretically unlock a short-term CR that would change the funding deadlines to March 8th and March 22nd, according to Punchbowl Sherman. 20 seconds left. Again, Salesforce rebounded after that dip on 300. Let's get ready here. Earnings are scheduled to drop anytime. You'll be able to see when they come out because you're going to have a decent amount of volatility, I think, from this. But we have 15 seconds here until the closing bell. Yeah. All right, so we got Mira, AMC. All right, so here's the close right now. Let's see what this looks like today. All right, there's the close. Snowflake scheduled on the left side. Or no, CRM scheduled. Salesforce scheduled to release right at the close. Let's see what this looks like. AMC at $5 a share. Still hasn't moved. This is usually when everybody starts to come out. All right, so look at CRM up to 301s right now. It's 301s for CRM. Palantir at 2440s. Yeah, I'll show Snow. All right, there goes Salesforce. Salesforce is out. It's at 302s. Let's see what the numbers actually were for Salesforce, though. All right, so again, CRM up to 304s almost 304s. Paramount is out with their numbers. Paramount dropped 4-cent profit versus 1 cent loss expected. Revenue of 7.64 versus 7.84. Beat on EPS, miss on revenue for Paramount, P-A-R-A. Salesforce is out. They posted fourth quarter revenue of $9.29 billion. Again, $9.29 billion for fourth quarter revenue. Salesforce expected $9.23 billion, so a little bit higher than expected. Fiscal year 24 revenue guidance $34.9 billion, up 11% year over year. They initiated a full or no, they announced a share repurchase program authorization increase by $10 billion. They initiated a quarterly dividend of 40 cents per share of outstanding stock. Fiscal year. Why are they dropping, man? Wow. Maybe the dividend announcement, but operating cash flow. I'm trying to see the EPS. Salesforce said, quote, "We had a strong close to our fiscal year and demonstrated significant progress on the profitable growth strategy we announced last year, delivering full GAAP and operating margin of 14.4% and non-GAAP of 30.5%, said Amy Weaver, President and CEO, or CFO. "We have had an extraordinary year of transformation. Looking ahead, we are committed to driving shareholder value." They posted an EPS and sales beat. I'm not sure why Salesforce is down so much, but they are dropping pretty significantly here. Here's Salesforce at the bottom in the chat. So we just dropped it in chat. Look at Salesforce dump here. That's kind of crazy. We can put Snowflake up. Mirror is a little bit late today. A little bit later today. So we'll watch Snowflake to see what happened. But yeah, Salesforce increased share repurchase authorization by $10 billion. Revenue came in higher than expected. Very big dip. Maybe we'll consider buying it if it dips enough too. AMC is scheduled to release at 4:15, so we still got about 13 minutes left until that happens. That's a big dip. We'll try to buy a little bit now, honestly. Hold on. Let's start it off small. Alright, so we just bought it for Salesforce. Very small size, but these are kind of my favorite trades where we just get a huge dump from earnings. Alright, so we got a couple shares of Salesforce. Alright, we just locked it in a bunch of, like a pretty decent little scalping profit here. Let's take a little bit more off. Alright, not a bad little trade. We'll let the rest ride here. Identified the bottom and took it, so we'll take it. C3 going up. Is C3 out already? Whoa, C3 must have released their numbers already. So C3 at 3140s right now, 3140s. They must be out already, unless it's sympathy. Salesforce guides Q1 revenue. We're going to put Salesforce guidance up. Is C3 out? No. They might be out, but I don't see it anything. C3 up to 3120s, which is weird. I don't see the guidance. Let me check Twitter. It has to be out, though. This has to be out for C3. Look at it. It's at 33s right now. The question is, C3 beats. They expected 28 cents. Or wait, C3 expected a loss of 42 cents. They beat and posted 28-cent profit per share. Expected revenue of 76.5 million. They missed. They expected. They missed. Wait. All right, AMC's dipping down a little bit now too. Locking some more in on CRM, the dip buy we got. See if we can find more info. I don't see anything for C3 though. Okay, yeah, here's C3. C3 said we had a great quarter. Total revenue of 78.4 mil, grew 18% year over year, exceeding guidance. Customer engagement grew 80% year over year. Revenue 78.4 mil. Okay, so C3 posted a smaller loss than expected. We'll put this up in chat. Here's C3 numbers right here in chat. Waiting for AMC still. Yeah, Snowflake. Is Snowflake out? Sorry, we got a lot of stuff dropping all at once, so bear with me. Paramount is out. C3 numbers are there in chat. They beat. They posted 13-cent loss. They expected 28-cent loss. Sales beat expectation. So C3 beat on all metrics. It's almost up to $35 a share here for C3 AI. AMC is down to 480s. I don't think they're out with their numbers yet, though. Let me make sure. Yeah, still nothing with AMC yet, but waiting out. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this. We got out of CRM. We made our money. We'll take it. Mirror's not out with theirs yet. At least they're not moving at all if they are. Snowflake. How much is it down? Snowflake down to 180s. Wow. I'm gonna buy this dip too, I think. Alright, so we're in 5 shares of Snowflake. A little bitty trade though, but very volatile right now. Still waiting on AMC's numbers to release. Snowflake just dropped from 230s all the way down to 180s. Are they halted on the day? No, they're not. Okay. Chaos, man. Look at Snowflake here. So CRM released. Here's Snow. Kind of a crazy move here for this stock, though. We're playing with it there, but still. Snowflake, beat EPS, beat revenue. Why are they down so much? Very weird. There's Snowflake numbers in the chat right there. AMC still pretty flat. Look at C3, though. AMC scheduled for 4:15, so we still got to wait for that. Yeah, this is a chaotic earnings period. Playing around with some of these tech stocks with small size, but still waiting for AMC. AMC at 495s. The other one we got today is Mara, M-A-R-A. Yeah, Snowflake really did get melted down. We made some money on CRM. We're down a little bit on our little snow. We bought snow down here. And we're just kind of playing with it. It's just a big dip. We'll add a little bit more to take a risk. Actually, no, we're not. We're not going to. They say don't catch a falling knife. It's probably the right move. Mara dropping. Is it out yet? Let me see. CRM breaking lows. Oh yeah, Mara looks like it's out too. Which is kind of crazy because most of these beat results. Look at C3 though. C3 all the way up there. Yeah, so Mara is out. Wow. Mara's down to $29 a share here. Mara's dumping down. Sorry, here, pulling these up. We got about 1,000 people here now. Finally, it took a little while for everybody to join, but Mara, crypto mining stock. Play a little bit more with Snow. It's down enough. Mara just cracked lows down to 27.80s. Mara all the way down to 28s. The earnings have got to be out for Mara, right? We're still waiting on AMC. AMC scheduled for 5-minute release in about 5 minutes. Does anybody have the actual results for Mara, though? I don't see anybody reporting the earnings. I just see that it's down. Okay, so Mara announced that today we're announcing Anduro, a multi-chain layer 2 network on Bitcoin. So a new thing for Mara that's making it drop, but I don't see the earnings out yet. Mara just bounced all the way back up to 29, so Mara just being volatile from earnings, but it didn't actually drop anything yet. Alright, so we limited our size a little bit on Salesforce. Still waiting for AMC, which is still yet to drop. Yeah, it could be Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's at 60.7. So Bitcoin's pretty neutral in all this. Mara bouncing back. Again, AMC scheduled to release in about 3 minutes, team. 3 minutes. Again, we did buy Salesforce. You can see we're basically flat on this trade. Now we're actually green a little bit. I'm going to take half off this here. Oh, what the heck? No, 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 no. Oh my goodness. I almost just shorted 200 shares accidentally of Snowflake. Whew. That would have been a bad freaking thing. Oh, dude, and I missed my exit here, too. It's all right, I guess. But, I mean, this is insignificant to me. I'll just let this play around. Mara's almost back up to where it was. AMC is still scheduled to drop at technically 6 or 4:15. If you haven't already, guys, hit that subscribe button. Listen, we cover all the major economic reports on stream, all the major economic reports live every weekday morning for free. We don't charge a penny for anything. Everything we do is free, and we need like 50 subs left to break 128. We need 35 subs left to break 128,000 subscribers here, team. Do it now. We appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Still waiting for AMC numbers here. Again, AMC is technically scheduled for 4:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is in about a minute and a half. AMC is at $4.88, $4.88. And again, we will be covering all of this live when it happens. Chaotic earnings so far, though, to be honest. We've had a lot of crazy moves, a lot of crazy stuff from earnings. I think I might stay in my 10 shares of Snowflake here, though. Hey, thank you, Naked. Appreciate it. Yeah, this isn't the type of entertainment being advertised, though. What? What's being advertised here? You mean I'm not a beginner? Maybe so. Do you expect Salesforce goes back up? I really have no idea. I hope it does. I mean, I got out of Salesforce, actually. So we dip bought Salesforce and then rode it back up to 290s and then cut it. You can see we made like 30 bucks on this trade or so. Like, just scalping it. Literally held it for like 5 seconds. But we're just kind of playing around. My account's 70K, and we got $250,000 in buying power. But this is so volatile and risky. We're just playing around with it. Like, there's too much risk. I'm in AMC long term, and I've been in it for a long time. And so that's why we're covering AMC. The rest of these tech stocks are just kind of chaotic. And so we're playing with these. But I don't necessarily trust them enough to take any type of, like, huge risky position in them. All right, guys, here we go. 5 seconds until AMC is scheduled to release. All right, so AMC hasn't moved. It's at 484s. Here, guys, 484s. This is when the technical scheduled release is supposed to happen. Mara is all the way back up. Cricket so far, team. We're still waiting for AMC drops. Okay, AMC is out. AMC is out. And they didn't post it. They either didn't post the actual results here. Investor relations site. They're not out yet, actually. I thought they were. Who posted this? Business Wire posted it, acting like they posted it, but I don't see anything yet. Yeah, we're going to stream the whole AMC call for sure. AMC hasn't moved at all. Okay, here's the report. We got it. I don't know why they designed it like this. It's super freaking weird. AMC full year 23 revenue grew 23%. Where's EPS? 327 at 337 per diluted share net loss. Fourth quarter results are right here. 83-cent loss per share. 83-cent loss per share. And no, adjusted was 54-cent loss per share. So that's actually a beat. They thought they were going to lose 70 cents. They ended up losing 54 cents a share. Where's revenue? Revenue grew 11%, 1.104 billion. So 1.104 billion. I think they beat on both. I think they posted a 50-something cent loss per share versus 70-cent loss expected on revenue of 1.104 billion, and they expected 1.03 billion. So better than expected EPS and revenue that I'm showing right now for AMC. So that's good. I'll put this whole report up on page. Here's the full report right here. So we'll put all this up on stream. Adam Aaron said AMC reported strong results for both the fourth quarter and full year 23, once again exceeding Wall Street's consensus expectations. It was another full year of continued meaningful recovery from the aftermath of the 2020, as evidenced by AMC's full year 23 revenues growing by 23% over 2022, and AMC's adjusted EBITDA growing by some nine times from 46.6 mil in 22 to 425.8 mil in 23. AMC's revenue and adjusted EBITDA for 23 were the strongest since the pre-pandemic 2019. For the first post-pandemic, AMC delivered positive adjusted EBITDA in each quarter of the year. So again, I think they beat on both metrics. For whatever reason, they're gapping down, but they're not gapping down like a super significant amount. They're down to 4.7 here, 4.7. But here's the numbers right now. Again, 54-cent loss per share EPS versus 71-cent loss expected. Revenue of 1.104 billion versus expected of like 1.03 billion. So better than expected revenue, better than expected numbers here. I'm going to go ahead and limit my risk and cut this. And that way we're flat completely on the snow trade and we can let it work a little bit more. Yeah, AMC's reacting negatively, but again, it did beat. Here's the numbers. We'll put these numbers up on screen. There's AMC's number at the bottom. They did beat on everything. And again, they're gapping down a little bit, which is weird because they've already gotten beat up over the last few years. Typically, extensions on the downside, I would assume they would bounce. But, yeah. Has AMC ever gone up on earnings? They have, but it's been a while. Again, hit the sub button, guys. We're trying to break 128. We did. We broke 128,000 subs. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, so again, it was a net loss for the quarter, Mike. So again, EPS is margins. It's how if they're making or losing money. When you hear EPS, think margins. It's how much they're making or losing, right? They expected to lose 70 cents a share. They only lost 54 cents a share instead, right? So they lost noticeably less per share than expected percentage-wise. Yeah, and so that's kind of what went down. They lost less per share than expected. They still lost per share, but they lost less. Revenue came in higher than expected at 1.104 billion versus 1.03 billion expected. So revenue was higher than expected. Mara's right here at 30.5s. Does anybody see Mara's results? I don't see Mara's results posted anywhere. Oh, Marathon. No, that's Marathon Petroleum. Devon Energy, TJ Maxx. These are all this morning. We had HPEA reportedly going to lay off 5% of its workforce, about 670 employees. I don't see Mara anywhere. So again, I don't see Mara anywhere. Again, I feel like I need to limit my risk here for snow. So we're going to keep limiting our risk. We're in AMC. I hope it goes up. AMC is actually our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. AMC is actually our 5th or 6th largest position. It's, out of like 30 plus positions. So we're in AMC. I wanted to go up. Salesforce bouncing back. It's almost up to 290. Yeah, Mara is not scheduled to drop. Actually, that's correct, GM, until, or no, that's actually correct, Lionel. Or no, not Lionel. Hammer, that's right. So yeah, Mara is not scheduled to release until 4:25 market time. Whoa, look at AMC, guys. AMC down to 430s right now, 430s. What with the big delayed response here? They did better than expected. Some big traders getting out of this. Man, AMC dumping significantly too, down to 423s. 423s. I guess the music's fitting. John, could you please explain why you believe in AMC? I mean, I've been holding it for so long, and it's not something that's gonna like destroy me if I'm wrong. And so, yeah, I mean, I've been holding it for so long. At this point, I might as well just ride it through the risk. No? I mean, I think movie theaters have a place. I think movie theaters have a place. You know, I don't think movie theaters are going to completely fail, and I think eventually there's a chance that we squeeze higher based off of aggressive shorts and stuff like that. I'm not saying you should buy it. I like it, though, but I'm not saying you should buy it. But, again, I think there are optimistic arguments for it. Stick around. If you want to know why we're dropping, we are going to stream the entire earnings call live in about 30 minutes. AMC right around 420. What am I down so much on today? Baba. That's what it is. $420. Yeah, we're back up to 440s. I mean, this drop is still, you know, it's not like it's impossible to rebound from this drop, right? Like, it still certainly could. I don't know if it will, but it still certainly could, you know. Here's a polarizing question. Do you like Adam Aaron? Do you think Adam Aaron is good for AMC? That's a good question. Is Adam Aaron good for AMC? We're going to do a poll. Is Adam Aaron good for AMC? AMC back up to 460s. Guys, back up to 460s. Let's see if it holds. Wow, interesting how much hate he gets. Again, I kind of agree. You know, again, he came out like, hey, the ape divvy's the greatest thing ever. Let's do the ape divvy. Traders, you should obviously accept the ape divvy. It's the greatest thing ever. Let's do it, right? Then traders are like, okay, we believe you. Let's do it. Ape divvy, done, right? 6 months later, the ape divvy is the worst thing ever. You got to vote to get rid of it now. The ape divvy's the worst thing ever. That's Adam Aaron. You know what I mean? And so again, I lost faith in that dude. I hope he can do it, you know? And if he does do it, I'm going to sit there saying I supported him the whole time. But, you know, I don't know if I necessarily believe the popcorn idea either. It's like your company is struggling. Popcorn, that's got to be one of the worst margin products I've ever seen. Popcorn, you know, like, again, I want AMC to succeed. I'm in AMC. You got to question those business decisions. I think if they got somebody new in there, AMC would have a refreshed view. Yeah, I'm in Snow. We'll see if Snow bounces. Mara. Did Mara drop yet? Let me see. Is Mara out? Hey, thank you, my guy. This is King Griffin. Good for markets. Again, Marathon Digital Holdings introduced Enduro, a new multi-chain Bitcoin layer 2. To be fair, I think Adam Aaron had a really tough macroeconomic situation, especially with it in terms of movie theaters. I think he had a tough freaking road, bro. I don't think it was easy for him at all. So again, I'm joking, but I understand it. Get the Chewy guy. You mean Cohen? Get Cohen in there? Yeah, maybe. I'd support it. He's now GameStop CEO, isn't he? Again, we're gonna stream the full AMC earnings call. Again, we're gonna stream the full AMC earnings call, team. All right. Time is at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. When Lambo? Popcorn is one of the most profitable food items you could sell. I understand, even if that's true, okay? Competing with the big box stores and the big box brands in popcorn is going to be incredibly difficult as a market. As supportive as the ape community has been towards AMC, they're not going to prop AMC stock up through popcorn sales. They're just not going to. And so I think when you got as big of problems as movie theaters in general, not just AMC, but movie theaters in general have in terms of shifts, I think you got to worry more about popcorn. I think that's wasting resources, especially in a company that's struggling to find profitability like AMC. And again, I'm in AMC. I want it to go up. I think these are important arguments and questions. Even if I'm wrong here, I think these are important arguments and questions. I think the AMC community has to get past this whole thing where anybody that says anything, you know, that challenges what the whole community thinks is automatically bad, because I think that's how AMC has gotten to the path where it has, where anything negative, you know, anything slightly construed as negative is shamed. And I just think that you got to look at these arguments objectively. Call is at 5 p.m. Is Mara out with their earnings yet? Let me see. Yeah, so Mara's out. Mara posted adjusted EBITDA of $419.9 million in 23. Bitcoin production increased 210% to a record 12,852 in 2023. Revenues increased 229% to $388 million in 2023. Net income improves to $261.2 million or 1.06 per diluted share in 2023. So the energized hash rate increased to 253%. Bitcoin production increased 210%. Revenue increased 229%. Net income improved to $261 million. Adjusted EBITDA improved to a record of $419.9 million. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff here. But Mara is out. Mara's up to 32s. Why is AMC going down? I mean, it initially reacted negatively. I'm not sure why. But it had good EPS, good rev. You can see the numbers below me. All right, so look at Mara still flying up here. Where's Bitcoin at right now, too? Mara up to almost 35. Bitcoin up to 61. Hasn't really moved from Mara, but Mara moving up. Here's AMC testing that 460 level. We've tested this level a couple times. Let's see if we break. My average on AMC currently is 1053. 1053. So yeah, we're down like over 50%. But again, it's not a position in which I'm uncomfortable. Like, if it was, I would have cut it a long time ago. So we'll be good no matter what. I'm still very green on the year, even with this position. I'm up 4 figures this year at least in about a month or two. So that's not too bad for day trading and investing. Could be worse, especially. Palantir? I'm in Palantir as well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm in Palantir. Good average here, too. You went at 100 plus? I'm sorry to hear that, Randy. That's tough, bro. I'm sorry, dude. CRM call? Nah, we're not going to cover that. Look at Mara, though. Mara at 33s. Again, the full call is streamed live here at 5 p.m. So we got 25 minutes or so. Thank you guys so much. We did break 128,000 subscribers, team, so I appreciate the love. Again, we will be streaming the full call live as it happens. You know, it was weird. For the first hour of this stream, bro, for the first hour, we had like 100 people here. You know? Everybody just started showing up at the closing bell, and we started growing. You love to see it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they got an earnings call, right? Let me see. Let me make sure. They usually do. Adam Aaron pops out and... Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for AMC. AMC should partner with DraftKings and stream sports and pay-per-views, movie on one side with a bar on the other side. I think that's a great idea. Honestly, I think they need to do something different. They need to get young people to see movies again. They need to do like full-on, like they need to turn some of those theaters into bars and start streaming sports. I agree. Start having little mini parties. Like make it a bar with like a bartender. You sit there, you hang out, you watch a movie. It's got to be live sports. I don't think movies are exciting enough for that type of environment, but I do think sports are. And so transition that stuff to like a huge Dave & Buster's type thing. Like I'm for that. I think they got to switch it up. They got to bring people back, and I think that might be something in which it does. You either need that or you need some huge movies. I think movie theaters are always going to still be like they're always going to be around. You're always going to have big movies that come out in theaters and people that want to watch them in theaters. Like this past year we had Barbie and a bunch of other ones, right? But I think the amount of movies we see like that, or that amount is going to decrease. And it has been decreasing for the last few years. I think that is the problem with it. Watch them release something groundbreaking for AMC. I hope so. Look, there's Mara dipping all the way back down to 30s. Man, I got the sun in my eye. Guys, the sun is in my eye. My wife was supposed to buy me like a little thing, like a blinds for my office. Still yet to be seen. All right, I gotta fix this. All right, I think that fixed it. I'm just gonna hang out over here. Definitely can't hang out over there. Skating rinks, man. Have any of y'all been to a skating rink lately? Unless it's an ice skating rink, it's dead over there, man. That used to be the place to be when I was young too. When I was like 13, dude, the only place we could go is skate rinks. You know, they got a bunch of neon lights and, you know, strobe lights and doing a bunch of stuff at skate rinks. Yeah, I don't know what's happening to Mara. Mara's pulling back fast. I'm seeing if I can find any data on this. Yeah, skating rinks were fun, man. I played ice hockey, kind of. Like, I was terrible at it as a child, but I know how to ice skate. My kids think I'm great. They think I'm freaking Michael Scott in the skate rink, but I'm really not that good. I definitely wasn't good at ice hockey. I mean, I'm from southern Louisiana, so I mean, how good do you expect me to be at freaking ice hockey? But still, I can ice skate now. And every time I've gone to ice skating rinks, those have been pretty packed. My guess is because the scarcity of ice skating, it only is for a specific period of time throughout the year. And so, you know, it's not gonna be feasible to have it open all year because people don't want to ice skate all year. And so that makes sense. But actual skate rink, it's been years since I've been to an actual skate rink. Yeah, Mary's dipping down. AMC is still kind of slowly bouncing back, though. It's at 460s. Q says, who's more likely to bring rates down? I mean, I'm not going to... probably the first one. But, you know, ultimately what you need... And again, I'm not saying I even want him to, you know... I'm neutral politically. I dislike all of them. Like, I don't like all of them. But to bring rates down, you need to, like, to bring rates down, you need the Fed to stop doing quantitative tightening. Right now, they're in a period of quantitative tightening, which means they're reducing their balance sheet, to try to combat inflation. And inflation has still stayed pretty elevated. Inflation has been higher than expected. Last week, we had inflation data come out that did show it to be elevated. Maybe it wasn't last week. Maybe it was the week before last. But inflation data came in higher than expected. Tomorrow we have what's called PCE data, the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index. That drops tomorrow, and that'll be relevant for all this stuff. But in terms of when rates are going to start getting cut, I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to be in March. I think they're going to push it back much farther past that. March is just super unlikely. All right, guys, this is driving me crazy right now. I got a headache. Ugh. All right, finally, bro. That's better. Sheesh, dude. My eyes, like it's blurry right now. Palantir breaking down. Palantir is starting to break down. AMC still sitting at 460s though. Yeah, there's no way they're doing a rate hike in March. Yeah, that's what I'm using as a cardboard box. Whatever works, you know, I'll take it. We got 20 minutes here, team. Tilt your hat like this. Bro, this is how I used to wear it in the freaking early 2000s. You know, you walk around like this. You know? And you'd be like, sup. They still do this nowadays, though, I think. I think young people think they're unique, but they're really not. My daughter's 14. She thinks her and her friends are just the coolest, you know, most unique people ever. They're all copying off of the 90s and early 2000s. Neon's even big right now. Baggy jeans. Bro, Free Dress Friday in 5th grade, every day, I wore Jinkos and a wallet chain to school. That's just kind of how it was. It's all cyclical, I guess. Snowflake's still consolidating around lows here. We'll see if it holds. Yeah, we are on the other side of the strike, Ninja. That might be... It could be an opportune time. I'm not saying to buy it, but that is a good argument for it. You know, it's had a lot of weakness over the last 10, 20, 30 days. Over the last year, last 6 months, really. And so maybe we start to bounce back. It's possible we start to rebound now that the writer's strike is we're in the end of that. Yeah, the 90s copied from the 60s, 100%. Shaggy hair and everything. Daddy, chill. PCE numbers coming out tomorrow. I don't think it's dropping on fear of PCE data. I don't think PCE data is influential enough to cause this type of fear in markets. PCE data is very important, relevant, but I don't think the market fears it this much, you know, to where it's going to be cracking stocks down. I just don't think that's what's going on. Again, PCE data, while it's a relevant thing, it's not something in which we have to worry about. PCE data usually isn't going to tank the market, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. PCE is inflation. It's the personal consumption expenditure. It's actually the Fed's preferred inflation metric. It's what the Fed uses to gauge inflation. 2.9%, I think, is what's expected year over year. The Fed wants 2%, but it's basically the same thing. One's looking at businesses, which is what the PCE is looking at, and then consumer price index is looking at inflation from consumers, but it's all the same thing for the most part. It's all looking at the same metric, but the Fed argues that PCE is a more accurate inflation metric versus CPI. So it just depends. Snow is out, dropping bad. Green, you're really late, brother. Yeah, core PCE is the big one, of course. The regular PCE is pretty insignificant. Core PCE is the one you want to watch, though. It drops tomorrow at 8:30. We'll stream all of it live. Like my channel, we get thousands of people showing up for those big economic reports. And so if you haven't already subscribed, we appreciate it. But yeah, we'll get thousands of people showing up for that. You know, my son broke this the other day. Honestly, I got onto my son so hard from this, man. Look at this. My son broke the diamond off of his hand. My son came in here. This is what happened. My son came in here, saw this, and it was like, and then didn't say a word to me. When I turned around to stream, because we had like a couple thousand people here, my son takes this Wall Street Bets man and then just starts throwing it around my house, playing with it. I go find this thing next to his desk, his school desk, and it's broken, and it's not fixable. My wife got me this years ago. She got me this Wall Street Bets guy years ago. It's hung out right here on top of my fireplace thing. I guess now it has more character, but man, still kind of mad about it. John, do you buy snow on this dip? Yeah, I did already. I mean, I don't know if you should or not. I'm actually losing on the trade overall, but that's okay. Yeah, maybe super glue. It'd probably be cheaper just to buy another one. Is there a chance for snow to pull back? Yeah, it's already pulling back. We're down a little bit on it, but could be worse. We scaled out of most of it beforehand. I'll probably just sit on this and let it see if we bounce back some more. I don't think Snowflake's going to 0. I don't know why they dipped. Guidance numbers made them dip, but that seems to be a pretty broad overreaction. I think fiscal year 25 product revenue view came in at 3.25 billion versus 3.46, so lower guidance. Quarter one product revenue came 750, expected 770, so lower guidance for sure. But this is a huge percentage drop for them, very big percentage drop. And then again, we had CRM drop their numbers today as well. So we did have CRM drop. This is how earnings reports are every time market makers come in and scare people. AA has said he has a ton to talk about on this call. I truly think we'll have a bounce. Hey, let's see. I hope so. Snow CEO is retiring. Yeah, Mara breaking down to 27s here. Could be diluted again for real. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the worst is past this. The question is, how much do movies rebound? Like, how much do people start going back to movies? Is it going to be a significant like rebound? I'm not sure, but that's the question: is are people going to start going back to movies like that anytime soon? I believe they will, but you know, who knows? But that's the real question you have to ask. 13 minutes here, team. Let me put the timer up. Nice. We got about 12 minutes left. It won't be diluted. I think he says it's over. Yeah, potentially. All right, looking at our votes. So we asked people on Twitter, will AMC beat or miss? Who is Maurice? About the snow dip too. Hey, good luck, bro. Be careful. Again, there's nothing to guarantee these work. I only buy these big dips and pullbacks after. I only take small size on these. Like I only take trades I'm okay with losing on. And so just understand, there's risk in doing what I'm doing. Yeah, Dune 2 comes out when? Honestly, it's actually a pretty busy March period. We're making some change ups in my business as well. You all will see more. Friday. We'll announce some changes Friday, but yeah, you'll see. Jim Cramer told everybody to sell Bitcoin 11 months ago. It's now up 155% since then. 155%. Shout out to Cramer. Man, I'm watching this clip of this car accident happen, and this has got to be the dumbest freaking driver I've ever seen. Also, he can make this turn early. Oh my gosh, bro. I want to personally yell at this person. All right, guys. Hey, we got 7 minutes left until AMC earnings come out. 7 minutes left. AMC's still sitting at 450s. The call starts soon. We'll see what happens. We got the call on hold, waiting for it to start. Let me know. Give me your last minute predictions out in chat. March 1st? Is it March 1st? Ooh, it does come out on March 1st. Oh, wait, is it only in theaters? Don't tell me that. Am I going to be able to watch it at home? Spring. Somebody help me out. Is Dune going to be... How do you watch it? Is it only in theaters? So it's only coming out in cinemas. Ah, that sucks. All right, guys. Hey, we got 4 minutes. Let me switch headphones here. My wife got me this beautiful set of headphones. All right, so here I'm gonna stop this, and I want you guys to let me know if you can hear the music right now. Can you hear the music? I just want to make sure the AMC call is gonna come through. We're gonna watch the AMC call. See, it's coming out on Friday, the day after tomorrow. Watch it in IMAX, yeah. Can you hear the music right now? Yes? Okay, good. Alright. AMC started to move back up. It's at 455s. Alright, good. Alright, so yeah, the earnings call starts pretty soon. Let me exit out of this stuff so that everything's running smoothly here. All right, 4 minutes, team. 4 minutes. AMC up to 455. Let me know again. Give me your last minute predictions on whether AMC. What price do you think AMC closes the day at? I hope it goes up. I really do. I'm in AMC. I want it to go up. I hope it goes higher. We'll see if it does or not. We got about 1,100 people here live. Not bad for an AMC call, I guess. Have you seen what headphones do to streamers? No. What do they do, bro? Don't leave me at that. Tell me, what happens? $20, $8, $4.99, $5.30, $5.45, $4.99, $3.60. Is the sentiment for tomorrow bearish because of the PCE numbers? I'm not sure. I mean, PCE is big. We'll cover it. We'll be streaming the whole thing live. It should be fun. Streamer's head dent. Bro, I got a big head anyway. It doesn't matter. You know, these headphones couldn't dent my head if they want to. Snowflake's starting to bounce back some. Hey, you'd love to see it. Thoughts on Sound? Sound has earnings tomorrow. We're going to be streaming that tomorrow, too. All right, guys, get ready. 2.5 minutes. I'm going to put just AMC up here, though, since we're going to watch the AMC call. Hey, look at Salesforce, though. All right, so again, here's AMC at 450s right now. $400% jump. Did my head in what way? Like, did my head here? The only problem with these headphones is if I go like this, what happened to the music? Wait, so, hey guys, let me ask you guys this. Does it pause the music for you guys too, so you can hear the music, right? When I go like this, does it stop the music for you guys at the computer as well? Like, is the music paused right now? And now I let it go. I'm just trying to see if that's gonna affect it if I put these headphones down when the earnings call is live. Weird. It does. All right, now you got me Googling head dents. No. I mean, I mostly wear AirPods, but that's a big freaking dent, dude. This has got to be photoshopped here, bro. This has got to be photoshopped. All of this has to be photoshopped. Okay. No pause. So it just kept playing. You just kept hearing music through it. All right, guys. Hey, we got 30 seconds. I'm gonna turn the music off. AMC is out. Yeah, AMC numbers are right here. Just a weatherman in this area right here. It should tell you what they are. Let me turn the music off. All right. Let me mute the background music so I can know exactly when they play. All right, still waiting here, guys. Still waiting. Waiting for them to start up the call, which is now. Let me know if you can hear it.
Greetings and welcome to the AMC Entertainment Holdings fourth quarter and full year 2023 earnings webcast. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. A brief question and answer session will follow the formal presentation. If anyone should require operator assistance during the conference, please press star 0 on your telephone keypad. As a reminder, this conference is being recorded. It is now my pleasure to introduce your host, John Merriweather, Vice President, Capital Markets and Investor Relations. Thank you. You may begin.
Thank you, Diego. Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone to AMC's fourth quarter and full year 2023 earnings webcast. With me results to differ materially from those that might be expressed today. Many of these risks and uncertainties are discussed in our most
All right, sorry guys, I had to turn the music off just so I can make sure to listen to this and get these other headphones in. Nothing started yet, team, so don't worry. I gotta turn these off because these headphones. All right, let me make sure the earnings call is live.
Reconciliation of our non-GAAP measures to GAAP results, please see our earnings release posted in the Investor Relations section of our website earlier this afternoon. After our prepared remarks, there will be a question and answer session. This afternoon's webcast is being recorded, and a replay will be available in the Investor Relations section of our website at amctheaters.com later today. With that, I'll turn the call over to Adam.
Thank you, John. Good afternoon, and thank you, everyone, for joining us today. 2023 marked another year of strong operational and financial gains for AMC Entertainment, affirming the success of our strategic recovery efforts as the industry continues to rebound from the lingering effects of the pandemic. Our determination, innovation, and agility allowed us to adapt to a rapidly changing and unpredictable box office in calendar year 2023. And once again, it allowed AMC to defy Wall Street's expectations, beating FactSet and Refinitiv consensus estimates in Q4 and for full year 2023 for revenue, adjusted EBITDA, adjusted net income, and adjusted earnings per share. As a result of our actions, global attendance at AMC Theaters in 2023 tallied nearly 240 million guests, up 19% over the prior year, and marking the highest annual attendance in the post-pandemic era for AMC. When you couple our 2023 attendance growth with our all-time record-setting admissions revenue and our all-time record-setting food and beverage revenues per patron, AMC's annual revenues grew by 23%, exceeding $4.8 billion in 2023, and our adjusted EBITDA improved by $379 million to $426 million in 2023. It was the highest level for adjusted EBITDA in 4 years, the highest revenues for AMC in 4 years, and in fact, our adjusted EBITDA was up more than 9 times what it was just a year earlier in calendar year 2022. Unquestionably, our positive recovery trajectory continued in 2023. Not enough for where we hope to eventually wind up in the year ahead or the years ahead, but encouraging progress again was made. We're also proud that when you look at the magnitude of our revenue and adjusted EBITDA increases, AMC is outshining several of our largest and most important key competitors in the U.S. and in Europe. One of AMC's most essential accomplishments, which may not be widely understood, is just how efficient we have become after having to adapt to pandemic stresses these past 4 years. Thanks to AMC's increased high-margin food, beverage, and merchandise sales, rising ticket prices, our industry-leading premium large format capacity, a commitment to laser projection, pruning our network of some marginal theaters and replacing them with some clear winners, and of course, holding the line on costs, AMC's internal analysis reveals to us that our contribution per patron is up by some 37% versus what it was before the pandemic. This means that AMC does not need for the industry box office to return completely to pre-pandemic levels for AMC's adjusted EBITDA to dramatically outstrip what we generated historically. Speaking of the box office, let's turn to the domestic industry box office as a placeholder for the size of our industry and to demonstrate our industry's long climb back from COVID. We all know that the box office fell from $11.4 billion in 2019 to $2.2 billion in the height of the pandemic, calendar year 2020. But then the domestic industry box office started on its rebound, up to $4.5 billion in 2021, to $7.5 billion in 2022, and it grew again in 2023 by 21% to more than $9 billion in the year just completed. That is an upward slope for sure. Again, it's not enough, but again, progress has been made. And in looking at the fourth quarter of 2023 in particular, what is particularly noteworthy about the box office is how our company, AMC Entertainment, reshaped the box office and how much AMC benefited from our trailblazing, industry-leading efforts with our highly successful distribution of two concert movies, Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour, and Renaissance, a film by Beyoncé. In the fourth quarter, compared to the same quarter a year ago, AMC's revenue grew by 11.5%, and AMC's adjusted EBITDA almost tripled. Literally, all of that increase in AMC's revenue and all of that increase in AMC's adjusted EBITDA is attributable to our having shown these two concert movies in our theaters in the U.S. and internationally. They also caused AMC's U.S. market share to noticeably rise. That's because our share on these two concert films, the two that we not only exhibited but also were the distributor for, were well more than 50% higher than our market share normally. If that's not enough, both of these two movies played to rave critical acclaim. Each received a rare A+ cinema score, and the Rotten Tomatoes response was astronomical, with Taylor's film scoring a 99.98 and Beyoncé's film scoring a 97.99. With some $213 million in domestic ticket sales within Q4, these two movies added greatly, not only to AMC's bottom line, but to movie theater success across our entire industry, as just these two films represented fully 1/9 of the complete fourth quarter domestic industry-wide box office, 1/9 from our two movies. Taylor's movie in particular was the single highest grossing movie of them all within the fourth quarter at the domestic box office. And worldwide, at $275 million of gross, Taylor's film also was the highest grossing concert film of all time and the highest grossing documentary of all time. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Only Universal and Warner significantly outgrossed AMC Theaters distribution domestically in the fourth quarter of 2023. With just these two movies, AMC Theaters distribution had a domestic box office gross during the months of October, November, and December of 23 that was only 1.6% less than that of industry behemoth Disney. And our two films domestically outgrossed all of what was offered theatrically in the quarter by Paramount, by Sony, by Lionsgate, or by any of the other smaller movie makers. This is a stunning result, given that neither of these films were on anyone's drawing board until mid-year, and that they were the first movies ever distributed by AMC in our entire 103-year history. What a triumph for our company. To that end, it is no surprise then that our praise for Taylor Swift and for Beyoncé Knowles Carter has no limit. And you will surely understand why we offer our boundless thanks to these two world-class artists for entrusting AMC to collaborate with them as to the theatrical exhibition of their two masterpiece creations. I should add that I've said before that our phones have been ringing off the hook, and I can confirm to you today that we are now in constant touch with others who are seeking that AMC also distribute the movies of more world-class musical artists for later in 2024 and or 2025. This blending of great musicians and movie theaters is an innovation for AMC that should and will continue into the future. But make no mistake about it, as pleased as we are with the movies that we distributed, or as pleased as we are with our entire results for the entire year of 2023, 2023 did not live up to its full potential. That's because the many months of actors and writers' strikes crippled Hollywood, and they seriously hurt movie theater operators who have been forced to wait for delayed movie titles that shifted out of 2023 into future time periods. After 3 years of hard work by one and all, after theaters were closed back in 2020, the domestic industry-wide box office finally was in sight of pre-pandemic levels back in the summer of 2023. At the peak of the summer of 23, the July 23 domestic box office was actually up 6% above July of 2019, the last July pre-pandemic. And in that summer quarter of 2023, AMC generated the highest third quarter adjusted EBITDA ever. Clearly, moviegoers flock to theaters when Hollywood releases films in quantity and quality. Just think, Barbie and Oppenheimer. Or for that matter, think of what came out of Leawood, Kansas, Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, among others. But the strike of 23 clearly interrupted that momentum that was pushing us to above pandemic norms in the middle of last year. The strikes in Hollywood led to the fourth quarter domestic industry-wide box office being down 35% versus pre-pandemic 2019. The January-February 2024 domestic industry-wide box office was down about 45% versus the same months of pre-pandemic 2020. We point this out not to alarm you or to whine about it, but instead because we want everyone to realize that by the middle of 23, we had finally emerged from the cloud of the pandemic. But then the strike hit and sent us back into the soup. However, at AMC, we believe that the strike impacts will only be short-term in nature. AMC believes that the box office will start to strengthen again as soon as this coming month of March, in some of the summer months of 2024, and especially in the latter third of this year. And over the medium term, we are both bullish and optimistic. With all the caveats that no one's crystal ball is perfect, at AMC, we currently believe that the industry box office in 2025 will be robust. We believe it will grow by $1 billion to $2 billion or more in size over what will be the box office in 2024. With that as an introduction to our results for the quarter and the year, I'll now pass the webcast over to Sean, our Chief Financial Officer, to provide more details on our quarterly and full-year financial results, and especially to share with you the progress that AMC has made in reducing our debt and in bolstering our cash reserves. After that, I'll return to provide you with my further take on where we are at the moment as a company and share some other news that may be of interest. Sean?
Thanks, Adam, and thank you to everyone for joining us this afternoon. I'd like to start my prepared remarks by briefly looking back over the last 4 years. No doubt our business has experienced challenges like never before. First, we had the COVID pandemic, then the Hollywood strikes, and all this while we managed through supply chain challenges and interest rate increases that have just put enormous pressure on our cash flows. Yet today, our business is remarkably well positioned to thrive as the box office recovers towards pre-pandemic levels. Over the last 4 years, we've improved our per-patron revenue and per-patron profit quite considerably. In 2023, our consolidated per-patron revenue was around 32% higher than in pre-pandemic 2019. This was driven primarily by growth in food and beverage spend per patron of 45.7%. And we've also increased our contribution dollars per patron. Contribution dollars here defined as total revenue less both film exhibition costs and food and beverage costs. And we lessened this by approximately 57%. So we've increased these contribution dollars per patron by approximately 37%. At the same time, we've worked hard to enhance our theater portfolio. We've been closing underperforming theaters and opportunistically opening higher-performing theater locations. As an illustration of the impact of the changes that we have made in our business, consider for a moment the following. In 2023, our domestic attendance was 32.3% less than in 2019. At the same time, we were able to keep revenue per screen flat with 2019 and increase our contribution dollars per screen by approximately 4.3%. So with 32% lower attendance, our contribution dollars per screen actually increased by 4.3%. The consolidated statistics I've quoted are in constant currency and help explain why we believe that A, the box office does not need to get all the way back to pre-pandemic levels for us to achieve pre-pandemic adjusted EBITDA. And B, at pre-pandemic box office levels, we should be able to achieve higher adjusted EBITDA than we were able to before the pandemic. And finally, looking back over the last 4 years, we have very actively worked to strengthen our balance sheet by reducing debt and increasing liquidity. It's worth noting that the total principal amount of our corporate borrowings and finance leases at December 31, 2023 was $4.56 billion. This is approximately $451 million lower than 4 years ago at December 31, 2019. And our net debt at December 31, 2023, net debt defined as total corporate borrowings and finance leases less available cash. This number was nearly $1.1 billion lower than 4 years ago at December 31, 2019, prior to the devastating impact of COVID on our industry. At the same time, it's also worth noting that given pressure from a rising interest rate environment and our heightened leverage ratios due to the box office being still well below pre-pandemic levels, our interest expense during 2023 was approximately $70 million higher than in 2019. Now to the results for 2023. AMC generated more than $4.8 billion in consolidated revenue for the year, marking a solid 23% increase compared to 2022. Likewise, adjusted EBITDA increased more than ninefold compared to 2022 to $426 million. And for the first time since 2019, we achieved positive adjusted EBITDA in all 4 quarters of the year. Now, looking specifically at the fourth quarter of 2023 compared to last year, the North American box office grew by nearly 5%, with Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour, distributed by AMC, leading the way. With market share gains, in part from the success of The Eras Tour, and very strong food and beverage per patron growth, our fourth quarter consolidated revenue increased by 11.5% to $1.1 billion. Domestic revenue in Q4 increased by 12.9% as a result of record-setting admissions revenue per patron of $12.83. This is 5% higher than a year ago, and record food and beverage revenue per patron of $8.31. This is an increase of 7.1% compared to 2022. It should also be noted that other revenue grew in total by approximately 32%, and this driven by distribution fees associated with the concert movies, together with increases in retail popcorn sales and sales of movie-themed and AMC-branded merchandise. In our international business, competitive dynamics limited our ability to take price increases without adversely impacting market share. Attendance in the quarter increased by 3.9%, and on a constant currency basis, revenue increased by 2.5%, with admissions revenue per patron decreasing by 1.4% to $9.27, and food and beverage revenue per patron growing slightly to $4.38. Other revenue was in line with last year's fourth quarter. Now moving to cash flow and the balance sheet. We ended the quarter with cash and cash equivalents of $884.3 million. For the full year, non-GAAP operating cash generated, which is a measure representing cash flow from operations after deducting capital expenditures and before both debt servicing costs and deferred rent payback. This was a positive $68.3 million, a $362 million improvement compared to last year. For the fourth quarter, non-GAAP operating cash burn was less than $1 million. CapEx net of landlord contributions was $64.2 million in the fourth quarter, bringing the year-to-date net CapEx spend to $201.7 million, right at the midpoint of our 2023 net CapEx guidance. We expect net CapEx in 2024 to be in the range of $175 to $225 million. From a theater perspective, we continue to actively manage our footprint, and during the fourth quarter, we added 2 new high-performing theaters and closed 9 underperforming locations. This brings the total number of locations closed since the pandemic began to 165, and the total new locations opened to 59, for a net reduction of 106 locations, or 10.6% of the locations at December 31st, 2019. Going forward, as we continue to rationalize the theater portfolio, we will also continue to invest in our circus to enhance the guest experience. To ensure our ongoing recovery and ability to thrive as our industry grows, our top 2 capital allocation priorities must remain the same. 1, we must ensure that we have sufficient liquidity to manage through this recovery phase, including the impact of last year's Hollywood strikes. And 2, we must strengthen our balance sheet by extending debt maturities and improving our financial leverage, thereby reducing our debt servicing costs. During the fourth quarter, we successfully raised $350 million of gross equity capital. We then repurchased $50 million of debt at an average discount of 20%. We exchanged $105 million of debt for roughly 14.2 million shares of common stock, and we repaid $17.9 million of deferred rent. The deferred rent balance at the end of 2023 was $56.3 million, and we plan to reduce this balance by another approximately $20 million by the end of 2024. Overall, since the beginning of 2023, we have raised $865 million of gross equity capital. We've lowered the principal value of our debt and finance leases by $466 million. We did this through debt repurchases or exchanges of debt for equity, and we have repaid $101 million of deferred rent. This all for a total reduction of debt and deferred rent of $567 million. The debt reduction since the beginning of 2023 has lowered our future annual cash interest expense by approximately $44 million. All told, as of today, we have reduced our debt and deferred rent liabilities by approximately $958 million since the beginning of 2022, so over the last 2 years. Having the flexibility to raise equity capital has been critical to our survival, and it has allowed us to seize opportunities to strengthen our balance sheet and build a foundation from which to thrive as the film exhibition industry recovers. The capital markets actions that we took during 2023 have positioned us to face with confidence the probability of a relatively weak near-term box office, especially during the first half of 2024. While the box office for the first half of the year will likely underperform last year, we are increasingly optimistic about the outlook for the latter half of 2024, and the film slate for 2025 looks incredibly exciting. And now I'll hand the webcast back over to Adam.
Thank you, Sean. As I said earlier, and as our financial results prove, 2023 was clearly another year of recovery and improved performance for AMC. But it was not a good year for our shareholders. Adjusted for stock splits, the AMC share price has fallen to a fraction of where it was as recently as last summer. And I promised our shareholders that I would use this earnings webcast as a forum to provide them with some straight talk, to give them my take. So here's my take. There is so much garbage information floating around Twitter, YouTube, and other corners of the internet about AMC. Conspiracy theories abound, facts are distorted, bad motives are assumed when the exact opposite is true. So I want to address some of these issues so you get the straight scoop. I can't address all of those issues in the limited amount of time that we have, but I do want to address some of the most important. First, as to all the hubbub and litigation that surrounded AMC and the Delaware courts in 2023, I want to remind you that our shareholders got the right to vote on our proposed actions. And not only did the preferred shareholders vote in favor of what we did last year, but also of the common shareholders who voted, their count also was in the affirmative by a wide 72 to 28 margin. Then the Delaware courts ruled that the company could settle the litigation surrounding those shareholder votes and proceed to implement exactly as our shareholders voted. Second, as to dilution, back in the summer of 2021, a long time ago, after it was clear that shareholder sentiment was not wholly supportive of more equity sales, we said there would be no more in 2021, and we kept our word. Some critics, assigning us bad motives, were convinced that we would start more equity sales in the very first week of 2022, since the commitment we made only incorporated 2021. But they were wrong. We sat on the sidelines for almost 8 months in 2022. But by August of 2022, we did in fact introduce into the market AMC preferred equity units because, among other reasons, we wish to make it possible for AMC to raise more cash through the sale of shares if we thought it was advisable or if we needed to do so. We were very clear about this in our public disclosures at the time. Between August of 2022 and June 30 of 2023, AMC raised $418 million by selling what were called APEs. AMC's cash position at that end of June 2023 was $435 million. $418 million raised, $435 million of cash. Do the math. Had we not sold those shares, deduct $418 million from $435 million, big companies, the size and scope of AMC Entertainment, cannot survive with only $17 million of cash on hand. Similarly, in the full year of calendar year 2023, AMC raised $865 million of cash through the sale of apes and the sale of common stock. We ended the year with $884 million of cash. $865 million raised, $884 million of year-ending cash. Again, do the math. Had we not sold that equity, deduct $865 million from $884 million. Big companies, the size and scope of AMC, cannot survive with only $19 million of cash on hand. We did, in dilution, what was absolutely vital for your company to do to get through the many challenges that have been thrown our way. The absolute smartest way for AMC first to survive and then eventually to be in a position to thrive is to have robust cash reserves. Period. Plain and simple. There can be no argument. Cash is king. Third, from time to time, there have been matters related to the trading of AMC stock that have been of concern to some of our shareholders. As but three examples, the absolute number of failed to deliver shares, synthetic shares, or the length of time AMC Entertainment was on the threshold list, among others. We dutifully have kept the New York Stock Exchange and appropriate regulatory bodies well informed, and we make frequent public filings. But here is a key reminder and clarification. AMC is a company that is listed on the New York Stock Exchange, but we are not the stock exchange itself. Frankly, we have no ability to regulate or enforce trading practices on the stock exchange. And as much as some of you may wish it to be otherwise, our business is the exhibiting of movies in theaters. We are not in the business of reforming the financial markets overall. Then, as to our motives, it's disappointing how many people out there type into their Twitter feeds that the management team at AMC is somehow actively working against the interests of our retail shareholders and instead is nefariously on the side of evil, the so-called hedgies. A company that does not post the kind of improving financial results as AMC just did today, if one is out to sabotage one's owners. One does not sell $54 million of movie-themed merchandise in our theaters and online, as AMC did in 2023, versus virtually no sales of such items only a few years ago, if their motives are impure. I should point out, by the way, that selling merchandise was an idea that came in from our retail shareholders, by the way. Similarly, one doesn't launch popcorn to the home or blaze new trails with innovative concert movies that have been incredibly profitable and reputationally enhancing for AMC if one is trying to undermine our company's success. So given all that, then why has our share price been falling? Are those conspiracy theories right? There are many, many complicated factors that affect any share price. Some well understood, some not so well understood. But my own view is pretty basic and overarching. It is this. It has taken way too long for the entire movie theater industry, including AMC, to recover in attendance or to recover financially from the impact of COVID. Also bad, just as adjusted EBITDA in the summer of 2023 was returning to more acceptable pre-COVID levels, no one needed for the movie industry to be paralyzed by debilitating strikes, which will temporarily challenge AMC earnings in 2024. We believe there are numerous other reasons too, like rising interest rates and inflationary wage and cost pressures, among many others. But in my mind, the key issues are, first, the long, drawn-out recovery and then the strikes of 2023, combined with the steps we've been forced to take to wade through 4+ years of a depressed box office, these are the issues that have pressured AMC's share price. So let's cut to the chase. Looking ahead, is there hope? As I stated earlier, the box office should start to strengthen beginning as soon as March, a month that starts a mere 2 days from now. It should further pick up later in 2024, and the box office for 2025 could be very favorable, as movies that might have been released sooner finally get released in 2025. So yes, in my view, there's good reason to be optimistic. That optimism notwithstanding, AMC must continue to address our debt load, extend our debt maturities, currently mostly in 2026, and push them out into later years, and also to ensure that our cash reserves remain robust. That is the recipe for success. Remember what I said earlier on this call. Cash is king. At AMC, our strategy is sound. Run the best company we can. Please our guests at theaters and serve them well. Prudently innovate. Drive the most earnings we can. Reduce debt, extend debt maturities, and have the cash reserves on hand to outlast the tough times. Doing all that, which is what AMC has been doing so well over these past several years, is what makes me optimistic and confident about the future. Because as the clear leader of the movie theater industry and the clear leader by a wide margin, AMC is doing all the right things. There's one more topic that I want to raise before we turn to your questions. And that is our interests, meaning the interests of our shareholders and my interests as CEO of the company and as a shareholder myself are perfectly aligned. I personally am AMC's largest retail shareholder. So, as your shares rise in value, so do mine rise. As your shares fall in value, so do mine fall. In the last 6 months, as the AMC share price has dropped, I personally have lost tens of millions of dollars in the value of my AMC shareholdings and in my granted but unvested stock. I assure you that focuses the mind. In my stock losses, I share in your frustration, I feel your pain, and I'm heavily incentivized to get the value of your AMC shares back on the right track. In the past 2+ years, I have been a holder of AMC stock, not a seller. Indeed, I have not sold a single AMC share since January of 2022. While I have forfeited granted shares on the same day as they vest to pay the federal and state income tax withholdings that are immediately due upon that vesting, I have not sold even one share in the marketplace, not one share in the last 25 months. I wrote often on Twitter that I ride with you. I am a shareholder. I am holding. I'm not selling. I ride with you. So when you get well financially with AMC, I will too. But if you're hurting from that investment, I believe that I too should be hurting with you as well. Therefore, to prove that these words are not hollow and to show executive leadership from someone who is in your foxhole, I want you to know that I recommended last week to the AMC Board of Directors that for the next 12 months, starting right now, my target compensation should be substantially reduced. While my actual compensation can be at the target, below the target, or above the target based on the company's financial results, the board and I agreed that my target compensation will go down right now as we move forward by 25% versus the previous year's target. And maybe even more relevance, if you compare my new lowered target compensation against my actual compensation for the past year, as most recently publicly reported, that's actually a 50% reduction in my potential compensation in the year ahead. There's no anguish in my voice about that. That is what a CEO of a company like yours should do, because I mean it when I say that I ride with you. You now know what I think. 2023 was a year of superb achievement and innovation at AMC. Unfortunately, AMC starts out 24 with $884 million of cash. Cash is king. I've said it multiple times, and that is the guiding philosophy that has caused this company to stay in a leadership posture no matter what the world threw at us starting at 2020 and since. While the box office took a 5-month downturn starting in October of 2023 because of the long strikes in Hollywood, things will pick up considerably soon, and then again later in 2024, and 2025, which in the grand scheme of things is right around the corner, could be a gangbusters year, both for our industry and for AMC as a company. We are in this together, you and I, and here's hoping that we all are smiling as we head in the next year. With that, Sean, let's move to questions from analysts and from our shareholders.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'll conduct our question and answer session. If you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. A confirmation tone will indicate that your line is in the question queue. You may press star 2 if you would like to remove your question from the queue. For participants using speaker equipment, it may be necessary to pick up your handset before pressing the star keys. One moment while we pull for questions. And our first question comes from Eric Wold with B. Riley Securities. Please state your question.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for taking my call. Adam, I guess I want to go back to kind of one of the parts of the business that's, I think probably not as talked about, the distribution business. I think, one of the knocks on the overall exhibition business in general for years has been that, the availability of content, was largely out of control. So when you get things like, the pandemic or strike, there's little that you can do to kind of drive content into your theaters. Obviously, this changes somewhat with what you did with Taylor Swift and Beyonce. I guess as you continue to build out that business, I know you talked about you're in discussion with other artists for releases later this year or the next year. I guess any sense of what you think the annual opportunity could be for revenue and EBITDA from that distribution business? And then, what do you think is the ability of AMC to kind of move outside of the concert or kind of musical film genre into other genres that may be, more direct competition with some of the other larger distributors out there?
Well, Eric, look, you're entirely right that if you look at the single biggest challenge that our industry has faced since the reopening of theaters at the end of 2020, it's in the lack of content. And we took matters into our own hands in 2023 with Taylor and Beyonce and had 2 grand successes. That causes us to want to do more. We certainly got the attention of the best musical artists in the world. And so there will be more of those. I don't want to quantify it. I've got a good sense of it, but I don't want to quantify it quite yet. Let's land some contracts for future concert films, and then we'll have a better sense of what you can count on reliably. But who knows where this will lead? There's other alternate content that we could focus on other than just concert movies. We could look to comedy. We could look to sports. when you think about the movie theater industry, it's a dirty little secret that the industry only sells about 15% of our tickets. I used to work in the airline industry. We sold like 75% of our tickets, not 15. There have to be ways to create alternate content that will not replace what Hollywood's doing, but will augment what Hollywood is doing by filling some of those empty seats that are just sitting there waiting to be filled. It also does sort of cause us to think, what other ways can we generate movie content in our theaters inexpensively? I don't think you'll ever find a situation, where AMC is writing a check for $50 million or $100 million or $200 million to make movies. But there are some interesting ways to collaborate with movie makers, to take movies that might not otherwise get made and get them into our theaters and into some other theaters of our friends in the industry, both in the U.S. and abroad. So this whole notion of how do we increase content is something that's completely in our wheelhouse, and it's a direct result of our success in what we've tried to do in the fourth quarter and succeeded with Taylor and with Beyonce.
Thanks, Adam. Appreciate that.
Thank you. I'll now hand the floor back over to. I'll now hand the floor back over to Adam Aaron to take some retail shareholder questions. Thank you.
We'll take it, Diego. We have had retail shareholders send questions in. Sean, what do they want to hear about?
Yeah, sure, Adam. So the first question is generally about the industry recovery, which we've certainly been talking about a lot today. But the question relates to, with players like Amazon and Apple entering this business, is it likely that we can see the release schedule really increasing past pre-pandemic levels in the future?
Well, that's a good question. But before we talk about whether we get beyond pre-pandemic levels, let's talk first about getting to pre-pandemic levels. Because as we sit here today, the movies released by the major studios are down about 25% from the quantity of pre-pandemic releases. The good news here is, as you know well, we talk to every major studio every week of our lives here at this company, and we know that studio after studio after studio sees the opportunity for them that can come from achieving high theatrical grosses. And one studio after another is doing all of its power to increase their release schedules, to get the release schedules first back up to pre-strike levels, and then hopefully even higher levels than that, moving back closer to pre-pandemic levels. Yes, it's true. Apple and Amazon are making movies. They're releasing those movies theatrically. We're working very closely with each company. Happily so. We welcome them to the party. We have enough screens in our company and in our industry to accommodate whatever supply of content all these studios can produce, and then some. I would point out that one of the comments in my prepared remarks that's so important is we've done so much in the past 4 years to make this company more efficient. Our profit per patron is up 37% from where it was when we entered the pandemic, which means we don't actually need the box office to come all the way back to pre-pandemic levels. We don't need attendance to come all the way back to pre-pandemic levels because we're making so much more profit from each guest who is in our theater. As for whether, in fact, and when the box office does cross that pre-pandemic hurdle and crosses $11 billion, we'll all find out together.
Great. There's related to that, there's some questions about diversification and what revenue diversification opportunities exist to grow and enhance our business.
So I don't think anyone's worked harder at diversifying their revenue streams in our industry than AMC has in the past few years. And some of them have been quite high profile. Things like giving Orville Redenbacher some competition on the shelves at Walmart with our popcorn lines that we took to the home, which is selling extremely well at Walmart. And we just literally in these very months are in the process of having extended our retail presence to Kroger and to Publix. We also went up on the Amazon Marketplace. So that's an example of diversifying our revenues. Merchant, we launched our candy line. I guess it was in December, I think, at our theaters. I've tweeted publicly about maybe coming up with a house wine or a house beer. Beyond that, though, I think the single biggest, most successful diversification play we've had so far is what we've done with movie-themed merchandise. As I said in the prepared remarks, we sold $54 million of it in 2023. Like 3 years earlier, we sold nothing. $54 million from nothing. We continue to be intrigued by diversification, and there are other diversification opportunities, but I think it's really important to say this. We worked very hard to bring all that cash into our bank accounts, as you know. And 2024 could be a challenging year, especially early in the year. We need to husband all of that cash and treat that cash as being very precious because it's the thing which assures our survival going forward. Therefore, if we're going to look for diversification plays, we have to do so in a capital-light way. We have to be able to diversify spending very little money to do so, because the smartest thing we can do with our cash right now is keep it for a rainy day.
Questions here on loyalty programs. There's quite a few questions on the loyalty programs. And people are asking if there's an update to the loyalty programs coming, any ideas such as bringing a friend along for A-list members in exchange for a fee perhaps, or a family plan for A-list, or other new creations for our loyalty programs.
There are a lot of ideas about our loyalty programs. Our marketing department right now is in the process of testing some things we've given a lot of thought to. A-list is of great appeal to us, of course. It's been a very successful program for our company. The most important marketing program this company has ever had is our Stubs frequent moviegoer program. And there are a lot of interesting things that we might be able to do to make Stubs appeal to more people and to cause people who are Stubs members to attend more movies. There are interesting things afoot about how might one qualify for Premiere, as an example. There are other possibilities we have 3 tiers in the Stubs program right now: the free insider tier, the paid Premiere tier, and the A-list tier. There's talk of creating a 4th tier of Stubs, somewhat in between the Premiere level and the insider level, with new benefits. We're going to test right now, research and test right now for a possible rollout later this year. And then there's a program near and dear to my heart, which is a loyalty program of another sort. It's called AMC Investor Connect. We have over 1 million members of AMC Investor Connect. These are our shareholders who've registered with us and told us that they're interested in our company. They're either current or former shareholders. We've been in frequent communication with them. We've had lots of advanced screenings for them. We've giving them some free this and that, some free popcorns and some free drinks and other things. One of the things that we will definitely be doing in 2024 is reinvigorating AMC Investor Connect, adding more benefits to it, because we know how loyal and those AMC Investor Connect members are to AMC. We want to thank them for their loyalty and encourage them to visit our theaters over and over again. Those are just some of the things we're working on, but watch this space. I might add that, I think one of AMC's greatest strengths over the past decade has been, I think we've been the preeminent consumer marketer in our industry. Just think about the Nicole Kidman campaign, for example, that took on like a cult-like nature. It really hit into the American zeitgeist. And one of the things that I think is fun about that is if you go to an AMC movie, there's something called the pre-show. It's the thing that comes up just before the trailers run and before the movies run. And for the first time in 4 years, starting in a couple of days, we're putting up a new pre-show on the screen. We think it's kind of beautiful and spectacular. We think people will like it. But one of the intriguing little twists is we're moving into phase 2 of the Nicole Kidman campaign. For the last 3 years, we've got a 60-second Nicole commercial, the same one that's appeared over and over before every movie start. And starting March 1, we're going to show 3 different 30-second Nicole Kidman commercials before the movie starts on a rotating basis. You won't get like 3 in a row when you go watch one movie, but as you watch movies going forward, you'll see 3 different Nicole spots that kind of randomly will appear in our theaters prior to the show. We're very good marketers. We use that for the benefit of driving revenues, and as you saw, our revenue growth in calendar 23 and in the fourth quarter of 23, we outpaced just about everybody in our industry.
Something new and exciting for people to see when they come to our movie theaters. I think we've got time just for one more question, which is related to capital expenditure. And the question is, what is sort of the ongoing CapEx level that we would expect over the next 3 to 5 years? The questioner here notes that pre-pandemic we were spending around $500 million per year on capital expenditure. What should investors expect going forward?
So for the past couple of years, we've been in a landscape of $150 to $200 million of annual capital expenditures. About 150 of that is to what we call maintenance CapEx, to just keep our theaters in good shape. You can't run a movie theater with a leaky roof, or an air conditioning unit doesn't work, or a projector that doesn't show movies. And then some of that CapEx has been used for enhancing our IT systems and growth-oriented projects, bring some spot acquisitions. You said we added 59 theaters into our system over the past several years. Some of our CapEx goes to bring those new theaters into our system. As you look ahead, those years of $500 million CapEx, those were in the days when we were, renovating, putting in reclining seats and 50, 60, 70 theaters a year. That spurt is way behind us. So I'd say that with one caveat, people should be expecting CapEx in the $200 million range going forward. And that caveat is this. Because of the tough years that we've had with respect to earnings over the last few years, we've put a tight lid on capital expenditures. It was crucial for us to keep cash in the bank and not necessarily spend it all. There are some obvious growth projects that if we were to raise an additional $50 to $100 million, for example, and we wanted to reinvest that back into our fleet of theaters, if that was something that would produce the highest and best return on that investment. It would have to produce a return on investment higher, for example, than buying back our debt at a substantial discount, which we've done a lot of in the past year or two. There's just some obvious things that are low-hanging fruit where we know the payback would be quick. And the most obvious of them is this. AMC has the largest number of premium large format screens of any movie theater chain in the world, and it's not close. We are 50% of all IMAX screens in the United States, for example. We're 100% of all the Dolby Cinema screens in the United States, for example. And what we've seen is that our premium large format screens command a price in the market that's about 30% higher than the normal so-called 2D auditorium price. They sell out first. The typical seat in a premium large format screen is sold 3 to 4 times more than the typical seat in an auditorium that's not a premium large format screen. And I could easily see us, we have about 600 or so premium large format screens around the world. I could easily see us adding another 150. And we would get a great return from that, but it's not a cheap endeavor. And we'd have to be very careful about how much money we invest and doing it at the right time. So I don't want to say that there's a lid on CapEx spending of $200 million because there are some low-hanging fruit, no-brainer ideas on how we could further drive profitability if we do have additional CapEx dollars to spend. Right. So I'm looking at the clock. We're past our hour, so we're going to bring this webcast to an end. I'd like to leave you with the final simple thought. 2023 was a superb year for this company on the march to getting back to pre-COVID levels of profitability. 2024 is going to be a bit harder, but 2024 is going to get a lot better starting tomorrow because Dune opens in all of its glory, and we're expecting it to be a big and successful movie. We hope you all buy tickets, go to the theater, be amused, be entertained. And as we look further beyond just this weekend, and we look ahead to the next year, which is, as I said, right around the corner, we really think 25 is going to be an incredible year for our company, and should be just as 2023 was the best year since COVID. We're thinking 2025 is going to leave 2023 in the dust in terms of how potentially good a year 2025 is going to be. So we're optimistic, we're confident, and we'll see you all at the movies. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. This concludes today's conference. All parties may disconnect. Have a good day.
All right, guys, so that is it for the AMC earnings call. We will be back. Remember, PCE data comes out tomorrow, bright and early. If you don't know what PCE is, it's the personal consumption expenditure. It's the inflation data, a very relevant thing for markets, very important thing. That drops tomorrow. We will be streaming live. We'll have thousands of people here watching us live when that report drops. If you want to check out our sponsors, I'm going to preface any plug with, look, I'm biased in these sponsors' favor because they pay me money. And so they pay me money. I'm biased, but I genuinely use both of these companies, great companies. Check out the first one, a company called Chart Prime. It's a trading view service you can use in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. One of my favorite ones is the hourly time frame. You can use this on any time frame you want, but the hourly time frame has been genuinely impressive for me personally. I have enjoyed using it. You can go ahead and back test this yourself if you want to see it. Like, look, sell signal here. Nice dips. This is like days of drops. Buy signal here, days of bounces. This one was wrong. Strong buy signal there, beautiful bounce. Look at this sell signal, literally called the top. Literal week of red action after that sell signal. Buy signal right at the bottom, beautiful bounce, sell signal drop. This one was wrong. This one still broke down afterwards. So that's only 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 2 out of 9 working. That's pretty decent accuracy rate, 70+% accuracy rate. So again, if you want to check it out, they're a sponsor of mine. Another sponsor of mine is called Top Step. Top Step is a funded program where they give you a demo and they test your skill. If you can pass the test, they fund you. If you don't pass the test, you're probably going to lose less putting the money up yourself. It's a great way to learn how to day trade with limited risk. Most day traders lose anyway, and so this is a much cheaper way to learn day trading. If you lose, you're only out $50 for the base one, but if you're good enough to pass it, they fund you between 50 to 150K. It's a great test of skill, great way to learn day trading. You can check out that link here. Also, remember, guys, I have no idea what I'm talking about, and I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. These are sponsors of mine. You want to confirm everything with them because I have no idea. No idea what I'm talking about. In regards to AMC right now, guys, in regards to AMC, I look like John Madden over here. In regards to AMC is doing okay. It's at 450s. I think Adam Aaron said some optimistic things. And, yeah, hey, I hope AMC continues to rise. Tomorrow, again, guys, tomorrow, I'm in AMC. I hope it goes up. Remember, tomorrow, we got PCE data. We've got SoundHound AI and more stuff. On Friday, we've got PMI data. We got jobless claims, unemployment filings tomorrow. Definitely top 3 worst traders in the world right now. Y'all be safe. Be good. I love you all. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys later.